We talking about sports, get ball.
What it do, baby? Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That's right. You didn't think we were going to take another long break. We're back, better than ever. And I got another spicy edition for you. This time, I am joined by my big brother, Vish. Vish, welcome back to the podcast. The last episode with you and Rush was a big hit, so I figured we needed to have you back.
I appreciate it, man. It's good to be back. It's good to connect and good to see you, man. So, and for the number one podcast listeners, you get a double dose of the Bot Bros. So, sorry, not
yes,
sorry,
sir.
Right?
Yep. Ho's probably mad because you're not going to have us eat our humble pie just yet.
For sure.
And that's a nice segue for Yeah Fam or Not, because I'm starting with the MLB playoffs. So, as we all know by now, the NLCS ended with the Dodgers defeating the Braves in 7 games. The Dodgers came back from down 3-1. Are you a Yeah Fam or Not of the result of the NLCS?
I'm a big Nah fan to this. I hate the fucking Dodgers, dude. Mookie is fun to watch. It's also, I guess it's bittersweet because I feel like I hate the Red Sox more. But man, did they hit the jackpot with him? And let's not forget he was a cheater in 2018. So let's not slide that under the rug.
Yeah, keep that fucking same energy. Keep that fucking same energy, Dodgers fans. You righteous bitches.
Congratulations.
I'm a nod of this one too, obviously. Like, fuck the Dodgers, but they'll probably end up winning now. Okay, the ALCS, obviously, we're going to be a nod of this, but the Astros and Rays, the Astros went down 3-0 and somehow forced a Game 7. Only the second time ever that happened. Unfortunately, they did not match what happened on the first time. Speaking of the Red Sox we hate, that was the time the Red Sox broke the curse of the Bambino in 2004. They came back down from 3-0 to beat the Yankees. The Astros fell short behind 2017 World Series champ Charlie Morton, who's now in the Rays, had to put the knife in our back with a dominant pitching performance. Obviously, we're not of this result, but you, Yeah Fam, or not?
Not of the result, but as an Astros fan, definitely Yeah Fam. I think as to be during the regular season, as Verlander went down, as we lost Osuna, Yordan Alvarez also went down with an injury. Like, I don't think anyone expected us to make it back to the ALCS.
4 straight, by the way.
4 straight. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. So I'm a huge Yeah fan to this, just because the Astros, fought their ass off, and I felt like Dusty Baker didn't cost them, which usually he's done with some of his teams. And in this case, I think he did a great job managing everything, but just kind of was a shitty result for sure.
Yeah, it almost made it more painful that they came back. Like, if it was super improbable if they would have completed it. But it's just so difficult to win 4 times in a row. They had all the momentum, but unfortunately they ran into an incredible pitching performance by Charlie Morton. And then by that point, it was a little too late. They put on 2 runs, but ended up losing 4-2 in Game 7. Overall, I'm a Yeah Fam. And I just love this narrative that people are so relieved that the Astros lost, as if their season was a failure. I mean, they made it to the fucking ALCS under 500. And they beat all your fucking favorite teams. So I don't know where the righteousness comes that you're so glad. I'm assuming it's relief because you didn't have to have it rubbed in your face, but they forced a Game 7 and made it to the ALCS, and they've made 4 straight. So I don't have anything else to say but play that fucking track.
The other part of it was the Rays. I felt like the first 3 games, they just made insane plays. Obviously, I was watching a lot more intently than any of the other playoff matchups, but I mean, everything was, it was like a black hole. It just sucked shit up. And it was just, good for them. Hopefully they're able to hold their own against the Dodgers, but man, they played some incredible defense.
Yeah, it seemed like they had
at the right time.
It seemed like they had extra defenders out there.
For sure.
The Stros couldn't catch a break with any, it was hard hit balls, and yet the Rays were just squeaking by. So I'm glad they forced 7, but it made it more painful. That's for sure. Okay. Speaking of seasons wrapping up, because whatever, fuck the MLB at this point. Go Stros, baby. Bang, bang, bitches.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
The NBA Finals wrapped up. The Lakers beat the Heat in 6 games. LeBron secured his 4th NBA title, his 4th NBA Finals MVP. That puts him in very elite company with MJ, Kareem, and Bill Russell as the only people to do that. He has won a title in his 2nd year of his last 3 stops. So after his initial stint with Cleveland, he went to Miami, won in year 2, then went back to Cleveland, won in year 2, and now in LA has won in year 2. It's more of a recap. We have more on this later, obviously, and you played yourself, so stay tuned for that. That's where the majority of this category is going. But I wanted to get a bonus regarding the NBA because now that the season's wrapped up, the big subject is Giannis, which, by the way, not even the first Antetokounmpo to win an NBA title. So
shit.
Not my MVP.
Petty alert.
Anyway,
Petty alert.
yeah, fam or not, Giannis won't finish next season on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Man, this is a tough one. I'm a Nah fam. It's tough to gauge Giannis. I think he stays on the Bucks, and it's one of those situations that the Durant Thunder had before, where you kind of have to just run it back because Giannis is really good. He might not just have the cast surrounding him to make a title run, but for the Bucks, small market, you kind of have to run it back. So for them, I think they have to keep it unless Giannis is like, I'm out of here and I'm signing with this team. Kind of what AD did, but yeah, I think he's staying with Milwaukee until the bitter end.
So I think I'm cautiously a yeah fam. I would not be surprised if eventually he requests a trade, and obviously there are a lot of people chiming for the Warriors because they're the only ones that could put together a halfway decent package to secure Giannis. It would involve something like Andrew Wiggins. They also have the number 2 pick in this year's draft. It's a weak pool this year, but still, I think if Giannis were to go to Milwaukee and say, I'm planning to leave, they would probably be best to make a trade. But I think he is going to finish next season with the Bucks. Beyond that might be the better question. We'll tackle that as we get to it, obviously.
Well, it's going to be hard the Warriors also have that trade exception. I think it expires at the end of this year, so they can take on a little bit more salary, and they're eating luxury tax. But the uncertainty around fans being in the NBA and all of that, and especially with the Warriors having a new arena, I feel like it's going to be really difficult for them to justify taking on that much luxury tax when they're paying a shit ton of money back. So I think, for Giannis, I don't know if it even makes sense for him to go to Golden State. I would love to see him paired up with Luka in Dallas. Like, that is just a holy crap, watch
Miami.
out. Yeah, it's one of those, and Miami. It would be scary. And I think, Giannis is great. Don't get me wrong, but if he's in Dallas, Luka's the main guy, and Giannis can play off of Luka so well. So, I think if we're rooting for the NBA and, in 10 years when we're post LeBron, LeBron's prime, as he's becoming a spot up shooter, when he's at the age of 50, we would love to have just Giannis and Luka kind of dominate the NBA.
Either way, I'm definitely a yeah fam to I don't think Giannis is gonna be a Buck for life. I don't know if I know small market fans are gonna be pissed about that, but I just don't see it happen. Okay, so on to the NFL. So obviously there's a lot to discuss with the NFL, but I wanted to get your take, yeah fam or nah. Speaking of the NFL draft, since my season's gone to hell already, I'm already in that mode. But if the Jets, which are clearly on pace to get the number 1 pick, if they do get the number 1 pick, Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence should go back to Clemson. So just a little background. Trevor Lawrence already pretty much said this is his last season at Clemson. I think he's worked ahead for his degree, so kudos to him. So he kind of knows already that this is it. But yeah, fam or not, if the Jets get the number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence should essentially pull a Andrew Luck and go back to school. No, I know it's a little bit different, but still, yeah, fam or no?
I'm a big Nat fan. I don't think he should go back to Clemson. I think his stock is as high as it can get. So for him, we've seen those quarterbacks, and I think the best indication of that is really Matt Leinart, where he could have been a top, 3 pick, and he kind of...
My favorite example of that, remember Jake Locker?
Yeah, I mean, there you go. I think I'm a big Nat. Like, he shouldn't go back to Clemson. He's won national titles. He's done what he needs to do. He's showcased his talent. He's clear-cut number 1. And
he showcased his acting skills, so his career post-football, he can win an Oscar in addition to his one from the Fiesta Bowl.
That too. I get it. I mean, he has what it takes. As much as we love Justin Fields, I mean, there's no going wrong with those 2 quarterbacks. So I don't think he should go to Clemson. But I did want to bring up something to you that I wanted to ask you. Do you think if he goes pro, that any chance he pulls like a John Elway or like an Eli Manning, and he's like, there's no fucking way I'm playing for the Jets. They're a trash franchise. They have bad front office, bad ownership. They haven't really won. They haven't surrounded themselves with that. And yeah, they've been in the playoffs with Rex Ryan, but like that was because of their defense. I mean, you look at all the people that they've lost, and I mean, it's what do you think? So I guess I'm change this.
I think that's a better question, actually. I'm glad you brought it up, because obviously he'd be dumb to not take the money. I mean, I still think even if he went back to Clemson, he would still be the number 1 pick the following year. And who's to say the Jets won't still have that pick the following year? But I think that's a more interesting question. And I actually am a yeah fan to this. I could see him pulling that and saying, I refuse to play for the Jets. I think it's way more likely, obviously, than him going back to Clemson. So I really like that question. I think he could do it. If Eli Manning's old stupid faced ass could do it, then why wouldn't Sunshine Trevor Lawrence do it?
I mean, the part about Eli Manning that was odd is he turned down San Diego.
Greatest city in the history of mankind. Discovered by the Germans in 1904. They named it San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
To go to New York, which is super fucking surprising.
Laugh, though.
Like, why wouldn't you want to be a quarterback in like 60-degree weather consistently, and also in the AFC West where like, hey, the Chiefs is maybe where you have to play cold weather, and maybe Denver, but like, so what? But
it's only twice a year.
Yeah, it was odd for sure, but hey, I think Trevor Lawrence has that. He can kind of pull that leverage, and I think there's plenty of teams that would. And I think even if he says that, I think it gives the Jets an opportunity to trade out of that number 1 pick too. So even if they didn't want to trade, didn't actually want to pick him and trade him and kind of go through that whole hassle, just like, hey, we got an extra, first round pick for the following year and all of that, and build themselves up, because, I feel like that's probably the best way they can go.
All right. You know what time it is.
I'm petty as hell. And I'm super petty.
Here we
Petty Le Pew.
go.
That's right. It's time for You Played Yourself. Your favorite segment, my favorite segment. Well, kind of. It just causes me pain anyway this time of year. But it's time for You Played Yourself. And without further ado, first up, I got one for you. Ron Rivera and the Washington football team. So 2 weeks ago, Ron Rivera said, quote, "Our best chance to win is to put the ball in someone else's hands. That's what I'm doing," end quote. This was in regards to benching quarterback Dwayne Haskins. Speaking of needing to be drafted in the right spot, by the way. So, between Kyle Allen and Alex Smith the ensuing week, Washington didn't complete a single pass more than 6 yards downfield. That was against the Rams. They combined to go 18 of 30 for 111 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Then, this past week, Allen in Washington lost to the previously winless New York Giants. That's right. This is who they benched Haskins for. I'm pretty sure Haskins could have managed to do at least a little better than that. So, don't get me wrong, everybody's rooting for Alex Smith to make his comeback. It was surefire comeback player of the year. If you've seen his story, you know how incredible it is that he's even playing football.
For sure.
I mean, he almost lost a leg. He almost lost his life. So that's beyond that. This is purely from a Dwayne Haskins standpoint that Washington flat out played themselves. You couldn't play yourselves more because what you said was give the best chance to win was with another quarterback, and you couldn't even beat a winless team. So I'm just going to go ahead and call bullshit on that Kyle Allen isn't the fucking answer. You might as well ride it out with your young quarterback and give him a chance at a full season and a fucking competent coach and coaching staff, and then be the judge. Anyway, you got something to add regarding this?
I know you hate this, but they're still a game out of first place. But really, in all seriousness, I think there has to be something up with Dwayne Haskins. I think I love, and I know the listeners know I love listening to podcasts, I think more so than music. And I get my fair share of jokes around it. Go ahead, laugh it up, whatever it is. But on the GM shuffle, Mike Lombardi, who was a previous GM, general manager, he kind of mentioned something that was interesting. And he mentioned that, and he's in the know. So I think when he talks about something on his podcast, he knows something that many of us don't, and it doesn't often get reported by the Schefters, the Ian Rappaports, whatever you want to call it. But he said that he doesn't think Haskins, this is Mike Lombardi, doesn't think Haskins has adapted to coach, which is really fucking strange because, he went through a huge change when he was at Ohio State, right? And I think that's something that you can agree in. They changed their entire offense to fit what Haskins was able to do. And he did it really well. And I'm not just saying that as a Buckeye fan, but even as an outsider looking in, he fucking broke records in the Big Ten that lasted for 15 plus years. The other part was Haskins was voted as a team captain. Are you fucking kidding me? If you were not working your ass off, why would you be voted as a team captain? So it's certainly a weird situation brewing in DC. I give the benefit of the doubt to Ron Rivera. He's done a great job with a very egocentric quarterback in Cam Newton, which could be there for Haskins as well. But, if you think his time's done, trade him. I'm sure you can get great value out of him. Start building your franchise, start building up, and you can still make a run for the playoffs. But, there's a team out there that's probably willing to spin their wheels. I don't know what you thought on that. I think it's just fucking weird.
Very odd situation, and I think I heard something that Haskins clearly worked hard to earn the starting spot, but not necessarily worked hard to keep the spot in his preparation and his general love for the game. So that's kind of alarming if that is in fact true. I guess we'll see. I know there were questions about it before, and obviously this doesn't bode well, both Haskins and then you have someone like Mitch Trubisky, these one-year starters that show out in 1 year of playing. It doesn't bode too well for, flash-in-the-pan quarterbacks in college, the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, obviously you have counters to that too, like your Kyler Murrays and your Lamar Jacksons, but still Haskins and Trubisky were really high picks and have not panned out at all. So hopefully Haskins, we're homers with that. Hopefully he gets another chance to prove himself.
Well, I wouldn't even...
Doesn't appear like it's going to be Washington.
I would push back big time on that. I wouldn't even say the Kyler Murrays and Lamar Jacksons. Those teams adjusted their offense, had offensive coordinators that are hey, I'm going to use Lamar Jackson's skill set. Jim Harbaugh changed his fucking entire offense. Same thing with Kyler Murray.
Don't put Jim in here. Jim's a loser. John actually is one.
Yeah, and so you have these offenses, you have these coaches that are able to adapt, and Haskins has kind of been in it. I mean, we talked about it, last time, is Washington is just a joke of a franchise and has been for years. It's a laughing stock. I mean, they just continuously do bad by what that is. I mean, like, even if you look at someone like RG3 that had an incredible rookie year, and then they let their field basically eat him alive and cost him his career, what could have been amazing. And same thing with Kirk Cousins. They were paying him, a franchise tag year after year. Like, come on, move on. Stop dicking around. I don't know. It's just, I'm not surprised with Washington, but it's just like, give these rookie quarterbacks a chance. Like, even like the Sam Darnolds, we joke about the Jets, like, fine, whatever. Josh Rosen's not getting those chances. Like, if you draft a quarterback, surround that quarterback with what they're good at and what they had even in college, and it can go a long way. So
sometimes it's more important to be lucky in your situation that you get drafted.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, I wanted a special You Played Yourselves to put a bow on this NBA season. This next You Played Yourself goes to LeBron James haters, LeBron James greatness doubters. Specifically you asterisk NBA title gang, you can go ahead and fuck off, first of all. LeBron James, in case you missed it, is now a 4-time NBA champion, a 4-time NBA MVP, a 4-time Finals MVP, a 16-time All-NBA performer, a 16-time All-Star, a 3-time All-Star Game MVP, 6-time All-Defense. He was the Rookie of the Year, obviously. Interesting enough, not even that interesting, it's not surprising, triple-doubles in the NBA Finals this century. LeBron James, 11. Every other player in the NBA combined, 10. I can't say it any better than LeBron himself could say it, so let me run this clip.
We just want our respect. Rob wants his respect. Coach Vogel wants his respect. Our organization want their respect. Laker Nation want their respect. And I want my damn respect, too.
I cannot stress to you just how incredible it is being a LeBron James fan. It is truly the best, especially when all the haters of LeBron James have to try to convince us that they appreciate his greatness with these obligatory congratulations. It's almost like those moments where they have to be like, I guess I have to say congratulations, and they don't fucking mean it. And I live for that shit because I am reading all these tweets and stuff. It's like all of a sudden acknowledging his greatness while these really smart people try to find ways all season long to diminish how great he is. I fucking love it. And I would rather you be one of the many people I know that just happens to fall silent when LeBron James wins it all. Just happens to. Each of the 4 times is when we stop hearing from you. I fucking eat that shit up. I love it. What about you? You got something to add here on these LeBron James haters? I know that you have something to say regarding, there's kind of like an age-old debate, obviously.
Yeah.
LeBron versus Jordan. So let me get to my next You Played Yourself before we get to your take on this. So I need the group of people that are on the don't compare greatness, just appreciate it train to shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. Pick a side. It's MJ or it's LeBron. If not, sit this one out and think about how fun you aren't at parties. Ranking the acceptable sides of this debate, there are a few options. LeBron, MJ, and some of you somehow want Kobe in this conversation. I mean, I guess you could go ahead, but he's way down this list. I don't know what to tell you. Rest in peace to Mamba, but he's not part of this conversation. But I'll even accept you fucking picking a side. Don't be the just appreciate greatness. We fucking are. That's why we're debating it. We don't play fucking basketball. We're behind a microphone and a keyboard. So what are we going to do but chop it up and talk shit? Just shut the fuck up if you have to be in between in a sports debate. You're not fucking fun. You played yourself. So if you don't have an opinion, MJ or LeBron, and some of you crazy people that think Kobe belongs in it, just fucking sit it out. We'll save you when we have a debate over who's the best referee or some bullshit like that nobody cares about. Anyway, so that's a nice segue. Obviously, we're Team LeBron here because this man is responsible for making teams contenders immediately and by himself sometimes. So we already know I've talked ad nauseum about how Team LeGod I am. But without further ado, that's the nice segue for you to have your chance at a rant regarding the Lakers, LeBron, wherever you want to take it.
Yeah, so I think those number one podcast listeners, you guys know when I co-hosted my last session, I like to zag a little bit. And so around this LeBron Jordan debate, I'm going to kind of do the same thing.
Oh, no.
Just kidding, man. Fuck off. For real. So first and foremost, I live in LeBron's hometown of Akron, Ohio. It's almost like 5 years, which is fucking crazy to begin with. But I've grown a new appreciation for the GOAT. That's right, the GOAT. What he's done for Akron, his actual hometown, and it's not Cleveland. Let me get on a quick sidebar here. Sorry, I'm gonna go off on this little rant. That's why we're brothers. This is what we do. Akronites continued to love LeBron even when he left Cleveland the first time. Clevelanders, for whatever reason, felt betrayed. LeBron stayed in this community, continued to do all of that, even before the I Promise School. And oh yeah, he has the I Promise School. Are you fucking kidding me? He's created a school that has these wraparound services for kids and their families. And now he's creating housing around that area. Like anytime I drive into work, I drive by it. And it's so cool just to see what he's able to do for that community. And then he put that I Promise School, not himself, but because of what he was able to do on the fucking Wheaties box. I mean, he wasn't on the golf course like MJ was. He wasn't in the casino like MJ was. And I think even this last postseason was the first time I saw him smoking a cigar, where I think every single time we saw MJ celebrating, he was smoking that cigar. Nothing wrong with cigars, but I'm just letting that out there. I guess that wasn't really much of a sidebar, but, and that being said, don't get me wrong. Jordan is still one of the best players to ever play the game, period. My take here is LeBron is just better, and that's okay. You can have that statement. You can have that clear-cut fact, because that's what Jordan did. He elevated the game, but so did LeBron. LeBron was on the SI cover at age 17. So I did a quick Google search of the youngest to ever be on the SI covers in the teens, whatever. I kind of narrowed it down to two people because I didn't really know the other ones that were on the SI cover, to be honest. One was 19-year-old Kevin Garnett, and the other was a 16-year-old Bryce Harper to don this, amazing cover. KG was a beast. Automatic first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think you'll have any arguments around that. But let me just put that in perspective. KG had 143 playoff games, right? Through Basketball Reference, these are where all these stats are coming from. So with 143 playoff games, he had a losing record of 70 and 73. He had one championship and 2 finals appearances. Now, KG did have longevity. He played 21 seasons, but let me give you another stat. The last 9 seasons, which also includes these Celtics years where they were playoff teams year in, year out, he averaged less than 33 minutes.
Congratulations.
That's nuts. And the other part of that is that Bryce Harper, he's the other athlete that was on the SI cover, he's still early in his career and he's known as a hothead. 9 seasons that he's been kind of in the pros, 4 playoff appearances, hasn't gotten out of the first round. So, going back to KG's 33 minutes, LeBron has an average under 34 once in his career. Again, stats, all fucking backing it up. All right, so who cares about KG? Who cares about Bryce Harper? Let's do Jordan, because that's what we heard about. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, right when the Lakers won the championship, Nick Wright, who's as pro LeBron as there gets, went on this anti-Jordan platform, which was kind of interesting. I don't know if you thought that too, Prem. Like, it was kind of cool. It was, oh, wow. But he didn't really talk about the playoffs the way I want to talk about them. So let's do that. Let's do Jordan LeBron playoffs. Playoffs? You can play that clip if you got it.
Playoffs? What talk about? Playoffs? You kidding me?
Jordan was 119 and 60. So that's a total of 179 games if you didn't do that quick math in your head right there. The first year he made it out of the first round was 1988. You know what year Pippen was drafted? 1987. Oh shit. That's cool. So Jordan did make the playoffs earlier in his career. I did want to say that. But his Bulls team was 38-44 when they made it that year. Are you fucking kidding me? 38-44? Could you imagine if LeBron had a 38-44 team? Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm apart.
So what about LeBron's playoff? 172-88. That's 260 starts. That's more than 3 full NBA seasons on top of the regular seasons he's already played. He has almost as many wins in the playoffs as Jordan's played playoff games. LeBron's first playoff series, by the way,
don't ever play
he made
yourself.
it past the first
Don't ever
round.
play
They weren't
yourself.
38-44. But what about LeBron's second ever playoff series? He made it to the NBA Finals.
Congratulations.
In his second ever playoff series to bring back to the point that he was...
Had no business being in that one.
And everyone knows exactly what that playoffs was. I can't even remember who was on that fucking team, that 07 Cavs. I mean, we could probably, like Boobie Gibson. I mean, I could probably try to name players. I am sure the Ohioans get it.
I think their second leading scorer is like Antoine Jameson or something.
Wow, so fucking cool. Antoine Jameson was like halfway retired by the time he came back. So it's pretty remarkable. So I'm going to bring it back full circle to that SI cover. He was 17 when he was on that SI cover, deemed as a chosen one, somehow has lived in that media spotlight as a high schooler. Not only has he lived up to that hype, he's done so much more. He's exceeded our every expectations. Now I can start to name the shit that you already named. Made 9 of the last 10 finals, MVP of finals for 3 different teams, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted our listeners to know, hey, you know those stats, but in summary, what LeBron James does for the game of basketball and beyond basketball is just something different. That's my rant. That's all I have.
Amen. And to that same vein, we had to continue some of the same vibe from last episode. So I asked our cousin Roche to also give us a LeBron-led rant. Let's run that clip.
Yo, what's good? It's Roche from Houston. I know I was on there last week on Creme Brulee, but I had to get back on the number one podcast in your headphones to spit my LeBron take, because it's not every year that things line up and the stars align for LeBron to win a title, because everyone tries to destroy him year in and year out. So let me just get this started, because I kind of prepared a little bit of an essay here. First of all, I refuse to allow any asterisk to be put on this title. Did y'all let him put an asterisk on the title when Kyrie's knee exploded in 2015? What about, when KD decided to go and run to his friends at the Warriors and, just team up so he can beat LeBron, pretty much, because that's the only way it was ever going to happen. I'm going to read you a quote. Quote, I feel like a lot of people say that there's going to be a star next to this championship. I feel like at the end of the day, this is going to be the toughest championship you could ever win, because the circumstances are really, really tough right now. So whoever wants it more is going to be able to go out there and take it. End quote. Who said this quote? Why, yes, if you were wondering if it was Giannis, it definitely was fucking Giannis. Remember all these takes earlier in the year when we were like, Giannis is better than LeBron. When he got named the MVP? Yeah, Giannis is better than LeBron. LeBron's number 2. The only game that prevented Giannis's overall number 1 seeded team to not get swept out of the semifinals was led by Chris Middleton, because Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the bench. He wasn't playing through his ankle injury. Regardless of how severe it is, he seems like the kind of guy in the regular season who would toughen it up and play things for clicks and for headlines. So, play for some pride. He didn't do it, and the team got waxed. The Jimmy Butlers, the Miami Jimmy Butlers, just waxed the Milwaukee Bucks out of the playoffs. So, go ahead, stay at home, and enjoy your fraud-ass MVP, because now we're at 2 straight years of, shooting 60% at the rim, 2 straight MVPs that ended in early playoff exits. And catch me never rooting for a guy who cares about his personal stats more than a team stat. Maybe watch some LeBron film and learn how to do both, brother. Every year we heard LeBron has benefited from the soft East. This is the same soft East that dunked Giannis back to Greece in the semifinals. LeBron could fucking never. He has not since 2010. It's been incredible. And we're telling people that the East is soft. Come on. LeBron dismantled the West, and Giannis couldn't get through the soft East. Not to mention, the Lakers beat the Heat, who was the same team who just decimated the Bucks. Y'all were saying that the Bucks could beat the Lakers? Ouch. I can't really say much, but all I know is I can't wait to continue to root against Giannis when he eventually tucks his tail and runs to the Golden State Warriors, because we all know that's going to happen. Next bullet point, the quote, Clippers would have beat the Lakers take, and the Lakers are lucky they didn't have to play the Clippers this year. On what planet were we watching TV? Were we watching the NBA? This is the same team that had 3 double-digit leads, all of them in closeout games against the Denver Nuggets. And I don't know if my memory is like dysfunctional, but I'm pretty sure that the Lakers ran through the Nuggets in 5 games. Yikes. Was that at the beginning of the year? Kawhi was better than LeBron? Was that? Do I remember that correctly? If LeBron put up Kawhi's Western Conference semifinal stats up, specifically Game 7, LeBron would have to retire, he would have to change his name, and he would have to just disappear from this country altogether. Y'all remember that King of SoCal billboard that went up? That shit feels like it was ages ago. Nah, it was kind of at the beginning of this specific, league year. Kawhi could have been hoisting the 3rd trophy of his career, with the real King of SoCal, but instead he kind of decided to join the team of the weaker little brother down the hall at Staples, and then he also teamed up with Paul George, who's probably currently getting catfished by a stripper. And lastly, Jimmy Butler. You thought you were safe? You are, man. You're cool as hell. The Heat are dope. Outside of Jay Crowder anyway. Jimmy Butler, he put the team on his fucking back. And watching this series and seeing him play, it kind of looked like how I felt watching LeBron try to beat the Warriors in 2015, for their only earned title. When LeBron was getting votes for Finals MVP on the losing team. Anyway, shout out to Jimmy Butler. Shout out to Tomball, Texas. Stand up. Drop the Big Face Coffee merch, That's pretty cool. And let me just run through these little tick marks of what LeBron accomplished, not for himself, but for others, with this 4th ring of his. He finally surpassed the bullshit of Golden State, and he now has more rings than Steph and Clay, who both enlisted KD to run their numbers up anyways. Don't let anybody distract you from the fact that it took exactly 1 year and 1 healthy Cavs team to beat the quote-unquote illustrious Warriors. So Draymond, ended up going to the parking lot and weeping to Kevin Durant and, come help me beat LeBron. I can't. Whatever, bro. Anthony Davis, a guy who never sniffed the conference finals, was able to ball out freely as a number 2 option, to a 17-year, veteran by the way. And he played the best basketball of his career. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. LeBron kind of put the red carpet out too for Dwight to walk into the Hall of Fame. Dwight finally got that ring. He got into the league a year after LeBron, and he had his fair share of, accolades and defensive players of the year and all those good things. But he kind of fell out of favor with the league. So who doesn't like a redemption story? And, speaking of redemption stories, LeBron also got Rondo his 2nd ring. Rondo was hopping around teams and kind of lost favor of all these locker rooms and whatever it is. But more importantly, this ring finally separates Rondo from his bozo-ass Boston Celtic counterparts, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Rondo and Ray Allen are now in an elite club known as the, quote, this guy's cool with LeBron club. And to make matters worse, Rondo was on the fucking Lakers when he did this, which just makes it all the while better. And, Pierce and Garnett are sitting at home just like punching the air like furious. Next guy, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, who, just a few years ago was wearing an ankle bracelet on his, in game, sanctioned by a jail. This guy has a ring. That kicks ass. I love it. J.R. Smith is a 2-time champion. You know, no one can say shit to any god now. Shout out to J.R. Smith. JaVale McGee just got a ring, marking the first ring of his career. And by my calculations, that would be one more than Kevin Durant. Yeah.
Daddy alert.
Waiters Island, Dion Waiters, he has a ring too, which I guess isn't that special because he was eligible for one with Miami before, you know, he went kind of crazy on those edibles on the plane and got himself kicked off the team. Oh, and most importantly, Giannis's brother got a ring before him, and he's about to go big flex at Thanksgiving dinner. You really hate to see it. Anyway, shout out to LeBron. That's my GOAT. Congrats to him. Congrats to the Lakers, I guess. Whatever. We're here for LeBron.
Amen. Amen to both of your rants. Obviously approved. And this is a good time. Just a little bonus. You played yourselves. The, quote, experts who said the Lakers were giving up too much for Anthony Davis, you played yourselves too.
You know, it's always good to be part of the bot family when we can start rooting for like the same fucking teams, like, and the same players and be on the right side of history oftentimes. Like, you know, I think this is one of those things where we look back on and we're like, man, it's great that we treat LeBron as a god because that's exactly what it is. So, amen to my cousin. Amen to you, man.
Amen.
Amen to everyone else that's pro LeBron.
Amen. Okay. So I wanted to do like a little non-sports one. It just hit me this week. So bear with me here. You played yourself, gang. So this you played yourself goes to people that decorate their houses for Halloween. So, okay, I know everybody's going to be, oh, wow, bah humbug. I know, wrong holiday. Whatever people say when
bah
people aren't
humbug.
in the mood for
Wait, first
whatever.
of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
First, let me establish that this is not directed at candy and the presence of delicious candy on this holiday. Candy is the one glaring positive of Halloween for me, and I partake in many, many pieces of candy. So, not directed at candy. Never mind that y'all are decorating for one day of passing out fucking candy. That's fine. You feel festive. You want to watch scary movies to pee your pants a little. That's all cool. That's your prerogative, right? Some people are out here decorating the shit out of their houses while having some raggedy-ass lawn situations and some messy-ass garages. Let me tell you what bothers me so fucking much, and this makes me super washed and old, and my wife makes fun of me all the time about it. It drives me nuts when people have a fucking 2-car garage and don't park their fucking cars in it because they have so much fucking junk. You guys channel that fucking energy decorating your house with fake-ass spiders and spider webs that you have to take down, and instead, you skipped yard sale season for this fucking made-up Halloween season. Use that fucking energy to clean out your garages. Man, you played yourself, okay? And it's nothing against people that decorate and, you know, handle their business outside of that. But y'all are feeling festive. Like take care of your fucking house first. I don't give a shit about this fake-ass spider web that you got to take down. Like, take the shit out of your garage and park your car in there so you're not taking my curb spot every time. I have to stare at your dumbass car outside my window.
It's definitely a pet peeve of mine, too, to kind of what you described, the garages where you can't park anything inside of it or move or even like trying to...
Like, fam, you got too much shit if you can't park your car inside the house. Like, you have a full-ass house.
But I think I'm taking Steph's side where, like, hey, you let these things bother you way too much about what other people do. Some people are just like, are trash bags and they like to hoard shit. So that's just what it is. But hey, I get it. I think we're both...
I guess part of the... Somehow in all the hoarding, they find all their Halloween decorations every single year. So while you're at it, why don't you just fucking clean some of that shit out?
I think I have a different type of energy on Halloween as well. As much as I love some of the things that we do, that Jack and I have been able to do pre-pandemic in our community, I also have a take on like costumes. But instead of me getting on my soapbox, Bram, I sent you this amazing take. It's from Lewis Black. He's a comedian. If you don't know who he is, he was also accepted as one of the professors there. But in his 06...
If you Google him, you might recognize him.
In his 06 Carnegie Hall performance, he kind of said it best. So I'm just going to let y'all listen for that. It's a quick listen. That whole Carnegie Hall. He also has a take on candy corn. I fucking hate candy corn, and he goes into it much better than I would. So go ahead and play that clip, Prem.
If you're an adult and you're planning to wear a costume on Halloween, don't. I will find you. I will hurt you. I don't know why. It was deemed to be a necessity among a group of adults that for some reason they didn't grow out of childhood. It's not an adult holiday. It's a holiday for children. That's who it's for. It's a holiday for children because children want to dress up all the time. And you have to go, nope, this is the night, so shut the fuck up. You're an adult and you can put on a costume whenever you want. You don't need permission anymore. If you wake up next Tuesday and you feel like being Batman, go for it. You go into work, the boss says, "Who are you?" And you go, "I am Batman." That's who I am. Who are you?
That's incredible.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. So I was just like, let me fucking stop and let some of these experts really talk about it that have actually put some thought into it. So I was...
Listen, I can already hear some of my number one podcast listener friends getting mad at me about this take, but what's new? I always have something controversial.
The best part is so real. Like, if you really wanted to go and dress up as fucking Batman or Spider-Man, go do that tomorrow. Do that in like the middle of July.
Any day.
You can do that I mean, you get looks, but you know, you put those on.
I mean, just move to New York. You'll fit right in. You can get paid for it.
There you go. Hey, I just love it. So,
all right. So we wrapped up with You Played Yourself for this episode. Do you have anything to add? Did we miss anything?
No, man. I think we covered a lot of it, dude.
I did think of something really quick. Mike McCarthy, fuck you. Dallas Cowboys, fuck you. Mike would rather have Christopher Nolan, fuck you. Players, fuck you. The Dallas Cowboys, you fucking played yourself. You didn't think you were going to escape this, did you? Listen, I came to a realization this past week, and I sent it to you and our cousins. I said, nobody let me get excited one bit for Cowboys football next year. I don't want to hear a fucking peep out of anyone, including myself, about them. NFL draft's going to happen one weekend, and I want nothing until week one. I don't want to fucking utter their name until football season starts. I am sick and tired of getting my hopes up even a little bit every season. Yes, my expectations are pretty realistic. It's not like I think we're winning the Super Bowl. I'm not that meme where the Cowboys starter pack where everybody says, nah, we're going to take it this year. That's not me, and you number one podcast listeners know that. But I don't want 1 ounce of hope. I don't want anything. I'm going to talk fantasy football and nothing. NFL draft, nothing. I don't want to hear the fucking Cowboys out of anyone's fucking mouth until next football season starts. The latest news is that we have players talking shit about the coaches now. Yes, the coaches are utter nepotism-ridden garbage, but are those coaches getting blown off the line and on pace for the worst defense in history? I don't fucking think so. The NFL record for points allowed in a season is 533, set by the 1981 Baltimore Colts. The Cowboys are on pace to allow 581 goddamn points this year. 581. The fucking New York Jets lost to the Cardinals by less points than the Cowboys did on Monday Night Football. Could you imagine being one of those fucks who said the offense wouldn't suffer when we went from an injured Dak to Andy Dalton? And another fucking thing before I wrap this up. I promise I'm starting to throttle down, and I wasn't going to do this, but I had to. Another thing. I don't want to hear about it. For all you people that said they're still leading the division, fuck off with that. Their 2 wins are by a total of 4 points against the Falcons, who have fired their coach, and the Giants, who just won their first game because Washington is a piece of garbage franchise. How could you look at this season? The whole offensive line is injured. Zeke fumbling like it's his job, when in fact the opposite is his job. The defense has more holes than a fucking cheese grater. Our savior, Dak Prescott, got hurt with his ankle the wrong direction. And having these trash-ass, nepotism-ridden coaches. And then you still think they have a chance at the division. You still think after all that, they have a chance. Do you know that after their 38-10 throttling on Monday Night Football against the Cardinals, head coach Mike McCarthy said, quote, "I felt like our preparation coming into the game was our best this year," end quote. I mean, just fuck you. Fuck you. If I don't want to hear that. Could you imagine, even if you really, in the corner of your mind, really felt that way, actually saying it out loud for people to quote? That absolutely clinically insane, dumb thing sounds more logical than saying the Cowboys have a chance at the playoffs. Like, the chance at the playoffs sounds even crazier. You know, the Cowboys told everyone after Dak got hurt, this was hashtag for Dak. And then they proceeded to put up barely 10 points and lost to the Cardinals, who completed just 9 passes. I was under the impression that they liked Dak. And then they have the audacity to dedicate it to him and throw up that performance. Like, take it fucking back, please. Make this season fucking stop. Make it stop.
Wow. This is like the second time that I've, in a long time, I think the number one podcast in your headphones, it comes to you for a reason, and it's number one for a reason, is because it's raw. Like, for those that are not able to see what I'm able to see, my bro and I are FaceTiming, so I can just see his passion. First of all, I hate the fucking Cowboys. And as much as I enjoy listening to your pain, hearing your rants, it feels like you have more gray hairs than I do. And you're younger. Probably true. And it's because of the Cowboys. Yeah. And I want to give the listeners a chance to kind of play on something. So, my bro reference would rather have Christopher Nolan. So the defensive coordinator, and I'm using air quotes that you can't see because this is coming in your headphones, is Mike Nolan, right? He's the defensive coordinator. Well, Christopher Nolan, he's a director. I think you guys all know him. So I wanted to explore this option a little bit further based on his movies. And so humor me a little bit, right? So I'm going to preface this section not with the spoiler alert. Like, if you haven't seen some of his fucking movies, like, too bad. Like, you shouldn't be listening. I'm sorry. Like, am I allowed to say that? Should I say that? Whatever.
I mean, if you haven't seen fucking the Dark Knight trilogy, like, where the fuck have you been? So maybe you've been with actual Mike Nolan being so far up your ass that you don't know what's going on or in the world around you.
So if you don't know, Christopher Nolan, he's the director of the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar. I haven't seen Tenet yet, but the movie that's out right now. So, like, wouldn't it actually be interesting if Christopher Nolan was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys? Now, hear me out. This is just like, I don't know where this came from. I just fucking thought of it. It can't be worse, right? What if this was all illusion? Was this a dream? Like, within a dream? Where
God, I hope
Leonardo DiCaprio would plant the idea in Jerry Jones's mind to actually hire competent coaches? Like, you can take that and, like, run with it, right? Hey, okay, Leo's in my head planning this subconscious thought, whatever, we're this dream within a dream within a dream. Holy fuck. All right, now we're going to hire some competent coach. And then you could actually take that with Matthew McConaughey visiting from a different dimension to actually figure out what is wrong with the team. But it's like, he is like from the future, but you're in the current state and like everything ends up being okay. So like, you think you play this out in your minds, but he's already played it out and he's in this weird, wall that's there and like knocking. What? Holy crap. Wouldn't that be fucking sweet? And then worst comes to worst. I think we've all seen at least the Dark Knight trilogy. And what if Bane was revived? Again, spoiler alert. I don't fucking care if it's a spoiler
alert. We could use him
alert.
on our defense.
But humor me again here. So what if Bane... So if Hines Ward was returning that kickoff in the movie, right? It's just like the weirdest thing ever because I don't think Hines Ward ever returned a kickoff return as the stadium implodes. Again, sidebar here. I love Zeke. Go Bucks. But Hines Ward returned that kickoff for a TD. Brad, I'm sorry to drive this knife further into your abdomen. While the stadium was crumbling, he didn't fall. He didn't trip. I mean, he didn't even fucking fumble. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. So I feel like Christopher Nolan, if he was the defense coordinator, could be pretty creative. And again, back to that Hines Ward play, it still baffles me anytime I watch that movie, anytime it's on TV, or anytime I want to watch it as I fall asleep. It's one of the best football plays of all time. The only other football play that is a little bit better is the annexation of Puerto Rico.
What kind of play you got for this situation?
How about the annexation of Puerto Rico?
And that's a Little Giants reference if you didn't get that. So, all right, that's my 2 cents on it because I couldn't do any justice to what you talked about your Cowboys. But I just want to take that Christopher Nolan and go down this rabbit hole for our listeners.
By the way, I'm pretty sure the Little Giants could carve up the Cowboys defense also.
Oh, shit. Well, they did carve out the Cowboys in the actual movie, so.
Yeah. I would rather have that Cowboys team than the current one.
Would you rather have...
Even though they lost in the
Would you rather have the Little Giants or the actual Giants? Icebox or Daniel Jones?
Great. Listen, I'm going with Icebox.
There you go. There you go.
You can't be mad about Icebox. All right. On that note, let's move on to who you got and what you feeling. And of course, last episode, you were on here, so we'll recap the picks that Roche, you, and myself made. We made picks for number 7 Miami traveling to Clemson, who's number 1 and still is. Clemson was favored by 2 touchdowns, and man, was that not enough. Hopefully, if you are a betting person, you hammered. You went with Clemson big time. They won 42-17. You thought Miami would cover. I went with Miami just because I was trying to bring out good juju, but Roche was exactly right. He said Hurricane Delta might have a better chance. So he also said Miami was going to cover. So we were all really wrong on that one because I don't think any of us realistically thought Miami was going to win that game. Our ALCS and NLCS picks, at the time we were still in the just wrapping up wild card and into the division series. I went with Padres, Braves, Astros, Yankees. You went with Dodgers, Braves, Astros, Yankees. And Roche was correct. He picked the right 4 teams: Dodgers, Braves, Astros, and Rays. So we obviously already went over what happened after that. And then we played a game of legit or not with a couple of teams. And we have quite the little recap because we've since had 2 games since we went over that. At the time we covered the Browns. They won once and then got dominated by the Steelers. They are now 4-2, and their 2 losses are in the division and probably against the best teams they've faced. Not probably, they are against the best teams they've faced. So I think most people feel that the Browns aren't truly legit until they beat one of those tough teams. At the time the Bills were undefeated, they have now lost 2 in a row. They lost to a barely practiced Tennessee Titans team on a Tuesday game, and then lost to the Chiefs. Obviously, that's forgivable. So they are now 4-2. The Cardinals at the time were 2-2. They had the great fortune of playing the New York Jets and Dallas Cowboys back-to-back. So obviously they're 4-2. And we went over the Colts. The Colts went 1-1 since we went over whether they were legit or not. They lost to the Browns, but then came back from down 24-7 against the Bengals. So it still appears it's the Titans' division to lose, especially with the Colts needing quite the comeback to even beat the Bengals. So this week, I have a couple picks for you. First up, an NFL matchup for you. The Steelers travel to Nashville to face the Titans. They are both 5-0 teams, so I think the NFL currently has 3 undefeated teams left, and we're guaranteed. Well, I guess they could tie, but we're likely to have one less at least because of this matchup. The line that I saw was Pittsburgh -2. So who you got for this one?
This is gonna be a great matchup. Hoping it's on TV for sure, but I'm taking the Titans +2. I think the Bud Dupree injury for Pittsburgh is a huge loss for them. They were able to be very versatile in defense for that. I think their defense is still very legit, but that is a huge loss, especially against a pretty great offense in Tennessee, which is weird to say, especially with Ryan Tannehill at the helm. So I think both of the offense are going to put up points, but anytime a road team is a favorite, you got to go with the home dogs. So that's why I'm taking Titans +2. Wouldn't be surprised if they dominate the Steelers here. What about you?
I'm actually going with the Steelers here. I just feel like it's a hunch. Their offense is humming, and they really found a weapon in Chase Claypool. It seems like with Ben, their offense is humming to match their defense. And yeah, Bud Dupree's a big loss, but they do have plenty of pieces, and they have playmakers at every level. I'm very jealous of their defense.
You think it's a close game where they eke one out, like kind of last second, or do you think they cover for sure?
Yeah, I think it's going to be close because Tennessee can control the clock, obviously, with Derrick Henry. So I have a feeling they're going to be pretty smart. Tannehill takes care of the ball anyway, but I think it's going to be a close game for sure. The 2 points is like essentially
it's a pickup,
close to a toss-up.
Yeah,
I could see Pittsburgh winning by a field goal or maybe like 6 or something. Okay, and we're going to discuss this a little bit more, but Big Ten football opens, and we have a pretty damn good matchup to open the modified Big Ten football season. Number 18, Michigan, or as we call them, Team Up North, travels to Minnesota, ranked 21. Michigan is currently listed as 3.5-point favorites as the road team. So who you got in this one?
I went with I spoke a little bit about the home dogs, so I got to go with the home dogs here. I won't be surprised if the Team Up North blows the living shit out of the Golden Gophers, but I do think this game is. But I think if this game is close, Minnesota does have the opportunity and has been able to prepare for the last couple weeks to say they're not a one-hit wonder. So I can never really root for Michigan, but I think this is something where it truly is a toss-up, and I was surprised to see Michigan favored here. But as a road dog, I think Minnesota gets out for this game.
Yeah, I have trouble, bringing myself to pick the Team Up North. So I'm going with Minnesota at home. I mean, you're getting 3.5 points too. So definitely if we're going with the line, I'm going to go with the home team that's getting 3 points. And that's what I'm going with. Okay. So we made our picks previously, but I wanted to get your take on your World Series pick. Who wins and in how many games? Who you got?
Sorry. Shit. I fell asleep. I'm rooting for the Rays, but I think it's Dodgers in 5. I think they just have so much firepower. Hopefully the Rays can keep this game going a little bit longer and whatever. But I would have loved to see the Stros here, but I don't fucking care. I guess Dodgers in 5.
Yeah, who gives a shit? I probably won't be watching. Go Stros forever. Bang, bang, bitches. Hose mad. But I guess if I have to pick, I'm going to go Dodgers in 6. I don't root for any other team other than my own, so fuck off to every other team. All right. What about what you feeling? I'm going to go first on this one, if that's all right with you.
Yeah,
and
go
I'll
for
get
it,
your take here. So I wanted to do a little something different. Might not even know that I'm going to do this, but I wanted to shout out my guy Harsh for getting married this past weekend. He's a #1 podcast listener, and overall great guy. So Harsh, congrats on your wedding. I know it got kind of delayed because of COVID, and you made do with it. Just wanted to shout out a guy who's always shown #1 podcast love. So the #1 podcast in your headphones is going to show love back. So I wanted to shout out him. And also, Big Ten fam, we finally made it, baby. Football is back. Football is back.
Amen, bro. Amen. We fucking back. We didn't think this day would come. But I did want to take a huge moment to shout out one of my best friends, PJ, and his wife, Claire. They've lived in Columbus for a good chunk of their time. PJ kind of grew up there. And so I get to see him, and it's kind of bittersweet because they're moving. So it's kind of weird. It's odd. I'm a little jealous. I'm jelly for sure. They've worked with their employers, so they're getting ready to be in a brand new city. So they're moving. I got to go and see them for the first time in a really long time, and it's bittersweet because he's not 2 hours away anymore, like you and Steph are. But I think it's just one of those where I'm excited to go visit that new city. Obviously, when it's safe flying again, but just a huge shout out, and so a huge best wishes and congrats. And I'm excited to see them and really catch up before they head out. So
yeah, shout out Peach and Claire. They're also #1 podcast listeners. All right, I like to wrap up each episode. My too much sense, my little wisdom that you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway. And this week I wanted to talk a little bit about being genuinely happy for people's news. We just had a couple in our What You Feeling. If you don't have people around you that are genuinely happy when you got good shit going for you, it's time to reevaluate. Also, if you're one of those people that can't be happy when other people are winning, you need to reevaluate as well, because wins are contagious, man. If you're happy for someone else, I don't know if you #1 podcast listeners are believers in karma, but I sure am. So the happy you are for other people, that's going to come back to you. So I'm a big believer in other people's wins being celebrated like your own. It's good for them. It's good to see your people win. So my too much sense for this week is to make sure that you're surrounded with people that are like that for you, and that you're one of those people for the people that are close to you. So that's my too much sense for this week. And with that wraps up another edition of the #1 podcast in your headphones. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. This has been Prem Brulee. I'm Premal Bot. My big bro Vish. Thank you for joining me again.
Absolutely.
2 episodes in a row.
Love you, bro, man.
This is episode.
It's been great.
Love you, man. This is episode 80. It's quite the.
Oh shit.
Yeah, quite the accomplishment. I appreciate. I know I say this a lot, but I appreciate you, #1 podcast listeners. It's not lost on me that how much it means when people share, when people like, and tell me that they're listening to the podcast. It really means a lot. I know it's easy to share things, but you don't have to do it, and you don't have to listen and subscribe and review and all that good stuff, but you do anyway, and I sure as hell appreciate it, and I never want that to be lost. You #1 podcast listeners are #1 for a reason, and I appreciate you keeping this #1 podcast alive and well.
And one thing, I know many people don't listen this far in, so if you have, and you did listen this far in, let's hear from you. Like, what is your biggest pet peeve? Prem went on this huge rant about not being able to park in your garage. What is that? And then also, what is your favorite candy? And mind you, you can eat that fucking candy any time of the year. So let's hear it from you.
Amen.
Post on social media. Let's hear it. Hopefully it's not Coke.
As long as your favorite candy isn't some like candy corn or fucking Twizzlers. It's a wrong answer.
Or anything with coconut. I will say that.
I mean, that's wrong. That's just flat out wrong.
Coconut fucking sucks.
Listen, appreciate you #1 podcast listeners. Appreciate you, Vish. And we'll talk to you next episode.